Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. It's struggle season here, folks. Struggle season, because, when you can't talk about, bad weather, what's there to talk about when you're a weather guy? I mean, we got some stuff next week, but no one cares. It's going to be super nice this weekend. There's not a weather warning in Canada right now. Hard to get people to watch a channel when there's nothing to talk about in all of Canada, eh? Okay, well, also, I've been putting out all this great content this week on the channel, and, nobody's watching it. It's so upsetting to put in, a couple dozen hours of work to go down, filming and making, and just... Oh, the channel's dying. I'm dying. I don't know how I'm going to get by. I got $80 left. You people helped get me through the winter. I'm so stoked, but now I basically need a job. I'm at that point where I'm going to have to take time off being the weather dude, because I don't think I can get by no more. And that's, what do you expect when you've always been a failure as an artist, like I have been. I had a great time down there in Penticton. Go watch the videos. It's fantastic. I bet you this weekend would be a lovely weekend to be down in Penticton. Oh, it's going to be just warm, warm, warm. That's all we got to talk about today, is just how warm it is. I mean, there's a few other things, I guess, we could, weather-wise. Okay, well, let's just get to the show and find out.
There it is. This is bad news.
My God.
Falling out right now. Anything could happen.
Get on!
Wow. I'll watch the video later. Ain't dry mopping this.
Please, for the love of God, hit like and share and subscribe. Please tell a friend. I don't know why the algorithms don't favor guys like me sometimes. I've never had a video out of 2,000 I've put up on here, and I've put some good videos up that have had more than 30,000 views. I put up firefighting footage, and they get 60 views. It doesn't make sense. I go to another channel that's got the same video, more or less, and there's 1 million views for that. I don't know what to do to make the algorithms. Hey, algorithms! What I meant was, as I was saying, nothing's going on in Canada. Look at that. It's like a whole country of nothingness happening. Nothing today, nothing goes. So we got, except for Smithers, they have a dust advisory for Smithers there, which has been going on forever. And then, and these areas here, don't forget as well, dust. So that's a big time story. Let's make a whole video on dust. Well, people with respiratory infections, asthma, heart disease, and diabetes, and women, and people with chronic underlying medical conditions or acute infections should postpone or reduce strenuous exercise until the advisory is lifted. Oh my God, who cares? Joey, all we want to hear about is how nice it's going to be. How nice is it going to be? Well, let's look at this. There's for the next month. This is the monthly forecast for temperature, okay? So this is the red shows probability above what we consider normal, and the blue shows probability below. And then the white is just, well, nothing. We have no opinion. It's just more or less the average. Now, look at some of those deep reds, probability of 100% above normal. Now, that's partly because this weekend is going to be very, very warm. But they're seeming to think that this month of April is going to be warmer than average, except for a spot in the Rocky Mountains and a spot by Bella Coola there. And especially one little spot in Vancouver Island, the guy's like, hey, what about me? And if you're up there in the north part of BC, you're just lucky, period, to be included on a map. Okay. What is whack? Now look at this big block of the heat, okay? And so this is where your severe thunderstorm is going to be kicking off down there in the United States today. As you can see, all along this, more or less this boundary line where nothing can seem to get past or through or by or whatever. Things are just going to be sliding up that line and firing off still yet again today. There's a moderate risk for severe weather down there again today, and I am sure that tomorrow will likely be much the same. Been cool in the mountaintops, but as we get into the daytime, ooh, there comes the warm, looking like even a little bit warmer than we thought for down by Vancouver, lower mainland areas. And then we get a little bit chilly. Don't be surprised if it gets to 0 at night, friends. But look at this. Boom. Gonna warm up. Ooh, look at that. Look at the reds. Now, it says here in Fahrenheit, 60. So you're getting into the 60s, maybe, into the high 50s, into the 60s, maybe, in northern BC. And then Sunday going to be just a little bit better. Oh, yeah, look at that. Warm weather into Sunday. Really warm. Really extremely warm here for the Cariboo and all places in the central interior. Alberta looking really nice. Not so for Ontario. Not so for Manitoba. You don't get much of that at all. And look at the whole western side of the continent. Warm. Very, very warm. So this is telling, we're wondering about what fire season is going to look like this year and what kind of start we're going to have. Well, I mean, if we are looking at warmer than average temperatures for the next month, I'm skeptical on saying that in April because things go up and down so fast. But to me, this is pretty warm weather. Look at that. Holy, look at that. We got a big bump in what they're expecting now for Monday into Alberta. Big bump. Oh, Saskatchewan going to get some of that too. So our warm time is kind of limited here in BC compared to them. They're going to get it really good. Look at that whole middle of the continent. This is warm. This is warm, man. This is heat. This is heat early. This is more heat than we should be seeing at this time. Climate change isn't real. Look at that. 100 degrees down there. 100 degrees in the south part of India. Well, it always gets hot down in the desert there in California. Yeah, sure. It's April, dudes. It's April. This is hotter than it should be. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at next week is heat in the continent and a little bit for us here in BC too. For the most part, our avalanche conditions in BC have, more or less improved. They got some good advice here, though. Start and finish your day early. Start and finish your day early. If you head to high north-facing terrain in search of dry powder, avoid the wind-loaded areas and overhead hazards. What they're saying, though, is the sunshine itself, the warmth of the day is what's going to make that snow start to loosen up and maybe get moving later on in the afternoon. So what you can do is just start early and end your day early. They do have a blog on the topic, actually. Upcoming warm weather, sun, and freezing levels could mean big avalanche cycles. Okay, well, what are we saying here on Avalanche Canada's blog? The transition from winter to spring snowpack is accompanied by growing pains, and this year will be no different. Spring made dramatic entrance March 24th to 27th, bringing freezing levels above 3,000 meters with rain followed by sunny sky. That brought high avalanche danger and widespread natural cycle. Through the province, large avalanches failed on buried weak layers, running far into flat terrain or right to the valley bottoms in some cases, and once in a while even carving out new avalanche paths by taking down stands of mature timbers. So these are avalanches that are going out of their way to wreck some stuff down on their way on their failures. Okay, so cornice failures, big one. Okay, so avalanches are common during the last warming event. As you can see, some of these lovely photos. Look at that, man. That just straight on down. That's beautiful. Nice avalanche. A large natural avalanche during the last warm-up was probably cornice triggered. So it's these cornices, when they let go, then they bring some extra weight and momentum, and then with them comes the rest of the snow on down. Okay, looking ahead to the weekend and into next week, the forecast is calling for elevated freezing levels and a strong sun or a mix of sun and cloud in most regions. It'll bring a repeat of last week's avalanche activity maybe. We're not seeing the heavy precipitation that preceded the last warming period, so we don't have that recent snow, not very much of it. So there's that. Weak layers in the snowpack persist, though, and have continued to produce sporadic avalanche activity even during cooler weather. This heat wave, you can call it that, must first break down crust formed by the last warming and cooling cycle before it can affect deeper buried layers. Areas of moist snow below these crusts may see rapid deterioration once the surface crust breaks down. Okay, generally subsequent punches of heat have less and less dramatic effect as the snowpack becomes accustomed to temperature fluctuations. So eventually the snowpack, what it does is it congeals, becomes more or less one unit. And the separate layers eventually, as it melts and thaws, become one, okay? So what do we got in retrospect here for key considerations? We have, okay, so check your forecast, right? Check Joey on the Caribbean Weather Dude YouTube. Thank you, Avalanche Canada. I knew that's what you meant. Remember that spring conditions are dynamic and shift through the day as it warms up especially. Be aware that snowpack and avalanche problems will vary significantly with elevation. Assess and evaluate conditions. Travel early through exposed areas to avalanche hazards before the sun and daytime warming breaks down the crusts. Carefully plan your exit routes ahead of time. Avoid runouts of avalanche paths. Avalanches may travel further than you thought. Overhead exposure isn't always obvious either. Be aware of what looms high above you. I mean, this could be way up the mountain, that overhead. If it's running right to the valley bottom, you may not be safe even in a place where you think you are. So this is a temporary transitional period. These initial warm-ups are what facilitate the structural changes that transition a cold winter snowpack to a more predictable diurnal melt-freeze spring snowpack regime. Diurnal being the solar process, right? Think of this as a short-term sacrifice in favor of long-term stability. So, yeah, there you go. Thanks, Avalanche Canada, for yet another wonderful blog. And while we are on Avalanche Canada, we might as well just take a look at their little summary here. Ridge of high pressure now, keeping sunny skies. Conditions are dry, some clouds over the coastal ranges. Yeah, okay. A frontal system will bring periods of snow to the South Klondike today, which will change to rain by Saturday as freezing levels will soar in the Klondike to 1,500 meters. Woohoo! The same frontal system will bring rain to the Northwest Ranges late Saturday, then move to the Southwest Ranges by Sunday with moderate precipitation. Low confidence for high precipitation amounts, though. Okay, as the frontal system disintegrates and moves inland, it will bring rain and ridgetop snow to the interior ranges on Monday. We're not looking at big-time events, though, next week. Nothing I'm looking at for snowfall and precipitation next week is really alarming or shocking to me. We will be, of course, looking at that as we get through the weekend more deeply to give you a better look at what's coming next week for you. Okay, we'll come back for one last look at British Columbia weather, but let's have a look at the enhanced risk. I know this is still going on. Actually, it's a moderate risk right now. We got an enhanced risk for tomorrow. That may continue. So we've been watching where you can see where more or less that heat sits on one side here, and then you have cooler weather on the upside. And this is making this, like I said, area where we've had a number of days of really, really severe weather, strong tornadoes. We got lots of flood warnings, especially on the go. A major flooding event has been going on with this. So very concerning for everyone down there, all our friends down there. If you have friends, I mean, if you have friends down there that don't know about what's going on with the weather by now, I don't know what to tell them, right? Okay, but clusters of severe storms are expected to form in central Texas, across Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, into the lower Ohio Valley through tonight. It's kind of a repeat, right? Not exactly, but kind of more or less the same areas. Tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds from Arkansas into southeast Missouri, potential for strong, intense tornadoes. Again, be watching your favorite YouTubers if they're out there chasing. Within the warm sector, warm, moist air mass is in place with low 70s boundary layer dew points beneath. We're looking at mid-level convective available potential energy up to 3,000 joules per kilogram there. So looks like you're really in for yet another big time rock and show down there. So you got friends down there, let them know that the chance of EF2, EF3 tornadoes is possible. Could see very large hail, baseball size, damaging in some of these places down there. Some of these supercells will not be taking it easy on you whatsoever. Okay, now for our last topic, which is our first topic. So it's not even noon yet today on Friday the 4th, and we're just about 9.3 Celsius here in Wells. So to me, that's overproducing. That's above what I expected. And I like to use 3 o'clock as kind of our, what's our daily maximum going to be? I mean, you could have a few of these places get a touch warmer still by the time you get to 1600. But I generally find 15 is the good place to kind of hedge my bets. Well, but just for argument's sake, we'll go to 1,600 hours. But looking at 14s in Williams Lake, even a little warmer in Quesnel, 15. Vanderhoof today, 15. Kamloops, 15. And Salmon Arm, right? Pretty good. Chilliwack, maybe see an 18. Even Victoria up to 14. So pretty good. Pretty good weather this afternoon. Everyone's liking this. Everyone's liking this, especially if you're up on the Peace side. 1,500, which is 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Okay, this is looking real nice, friends. Trail at 16. Cranbrook looking at 15 degrees Saturday afternoon. Vernon 19. Could you see 20? Possibly. Chilliwack could see 20. Ryan Vetolainen was calling that 20 in the Lower Mainland, and Mark Ingles was, kind of doubting him. And hey, so was I. Like, really, I said 20 in Kamloops or in Kelowna or somewhere like that, or Penticton. That seems to be a go. Kamloops, you might get a 20-degree day tomorrow. That's pretty nice. Quesnel up to 17. I'd take it. Vanderhoof 17. As you get a little bit further towards Smithers, you're cooling down fast there. Bulkley Canyon at 12. That's kind of the leader in the area. Smithers only at 9 degrees. I'm sorry about your luck. Dawson Creek 18. Fort St. John 17. So pretty nice weather on Saturday. Let's just stick with Icon here. 1,500 hours in the afternoon on Sunday. What do you got? High teens in the Peace Country. Looks like 16, 17 is more or less stable. So is Saturday going to be the warmest day for you? Quite likely, everybody. Enjoy that Saturday while you got it. However, ECMWF disagrees. It says Kamloops hitting 20 degrees, even a little touch warmer in Williams Lake. Looking at 18, Kelowna 18 on Sunday. I mean, this is going to be spectacular. Then all this is going to basically be a situation of joy for the prairies. Fort St. John 18, even seeing above zero. Dawson City up to 5 Celsius, getting your first nice warm weather up there. Looks like Inuvik even 7, even up by the Arctic Circle, up by the Arctic Ocean, 7 degrees. And let's have a look at this weather this week for you in the prairies. Looking pretty nice. Sitting in low double digits for a lot of us in BC. We're going to see cooler nights at times, and we're going to see some precip coming on through. And then you're going to look at that enjoyable weather that they get into the prairies. Nice spring weather for you this week. I'm glad that you're getting something. You deserve it. You have a hell of a time over there, and we just look at all that heat out there still. What are we going to be getting later this month? Are we going to be getting warmer? I don't know. We'll see. I'm a little bit skeptical yet on, that first map from Environment Canada we looked at. How much above seasonal will we be? Well, certainly for this weekend, a lot. And that may skew the graphic a little bit and make it look like we have a warmer month ahead than we actually are, when really what we have is just a really, really warm weekend ahead of time. But you never know. By my birthday, we could be seeing 14 still in the interior. Well, that's good news, man, because I've sat here on my birthday, Thursday the 17th of April. If you want to support the channel, or you want to help a guy on his birthday this year, you know what you can do is you can always hit like, share, subscribe, or become a channel member, or join the Patreon. I'm really struggling to keep the channel afloat, really struggling to keep people watching, really struggling to have viewers here, friends. Like, I don't know what to do sometimes and how to make this channel last. All I want for my birthday, besides it not snowing in Wells, because this has happened before. It was I've had several birthday blizzards. I mean, I even have a song that's very, very popular. I don't know if it's very popular. I mean, it's very popular for one of my songs, at least, which is, not very popular. Where we had snow just a pounding on my birthday here in Wells, like a 1.5 foot of snow fell. I've had it coming across Highway 16. That's when I made that song, Birthday Blizzard Bus Ride Blues. I turned 29 on a Greyhound bus, driving through a northern night. That's a long time ago now. I'm not anywhere near 29 anymore. But I gave you the impression of just, how volatile April can be here in the mountains. And if I can have a above zero birthday, that's nice. So maybe, just keep in mind when we look at that first graphic and it says above seasonal probabilities, like, just because it's really in the red doesn't necessarily mean we have a really hot month ahead yet, but still it's above seasonal. It's above seasonal for sure. So yeah, please, need help. I need support. The views are down the channel again this week. Like, I don't know. I put out all this good content and I'm getting like 100 fucking views, man. It's like breaking my brain. Like, what do I got to do here? I don't know. I don't know what I got to do to to be everyone's weatherman. Make this sustainable. Like I'm like, I need a full third more income than I have right now. So what's going on is I have my insurance on my truck runs out on Saturday, which I can't afford to renew. But the Volkswagen, which has insurance, has the back window smashed out. So that leaves me, and then I got like $100 to my name right now, and views are down. It's like, well, if views were cranking right now and ad revenue was rolling in, I wouldn't worry. I'd be like, you know what? I made it through the winter. It's gonna work. But right now, I'm like, fuck. I thought I just got out of this rut. Algorithms. So YouTube's not done me any favors forever. I don't know why. I hate them. Anyways, that's the show for today. Thanks for the support. Bye now.